motorcycle where embarrassing moments happen, or around your motorcycle. See, here's the thing. For a lot of us riders, even whether you're new or experienced, when you're out and about, because it's summertime, everybody's out riding. Not everybody, but more people tend to ride their motorcycle out in the summer. And you're gonna get people coming up to you and be like, "Oh, that's a nice motorcycle," and then they'll start talking about stories, or whether about how they wish they knew how to ride, and then you giving them advice and tips on like getting them motivated enough to go on that journey of riding the motorcycle, or they're just talking to talk. We've all been there, but nobody really discussed about the embarrassing moments, and that's what I want to cover. Now, I'm not really going to make a list. I'm just going to give a few examples because I want to let you writers out there pretty much share your stories about your embarrassing moment that happened. It could be funny, it could be fun, or like I said, it's embarrassing. So, but if you feel free to share it, don't be scared. It'll be pretty much look at it as an enlightenment. You're sharing a story to share your experience for every people to know what to be prepared for. So, anyway, like I said, it's not a list. Stuff like this happen. I don't care if you're a novice or an experienced writer. You either experience this or you're going to experience this. Now, number one, stalling. Yes, everybody stalls their bike. Even the MSF instructor that is helping you get that motorcycle endorsement license, they've stalled their motorcycle. Everybody done it. It doesn't matter if you're a novice, you're gonna stall more often than anything. Or experienced rider, and it's not like it's your fault. It's like you have a routine, but sometimes, something happened. Now, we all know you're supposed to do the T clock thing. When you check your motorcycle, everything, we all have a routine. We have a routine on how we prep our bikes. Some of us just hop and go, thinking we're good and everything. Some of us, we have to check everything. It just, once you develop your routine, it's something you do. Now, normally when people stall, it always has to involve around a stop sign or a street light. Say, for example, you're at an intersection and you're just waiting for the light to turn green. You already ride your motorcycle probably like once or twice just to get people aware that, hey, you exist. Because remember, we're practically invisible in the eyes of the people driving vehicles, the cars, the trucks. We are invisible to them. So, yeah. And all of a sudden the light turned green. And all of a sudden, boom, you stalled. That's embarrassing because everybody's watching you, and especially the person behind you that was ready to hit that gas and they're stopping. They're like, what the hell? Learn how to ride your bike. It's like that can be embarrassing. Another reason for stalling is people overwhelm themselves. They stress themselves out. Where, say, you're coming to a stop. There's a car behind you. You got clear path in front of you. Then all of a sudden you stop. You check everything. Whether pretty much I'm using the stoplight visual explanation. And okay, you checked everything and it's time for you to go. In your head, you're like, please don't stall, please don't stall. There's a person behind me, they're watching me. You're stressing yourself out. You are setting yourself to practically fail or to be embarrassed. Then you go and it's like, boom, you stall. That's kind of expected. But like I said, it's as long as your mind clear and everything, you have your own routine. Because like I said, once you become experienced, you will not stall your bike as much. It'll probably be close to never, but there are going to be moments where you're like, ah, shit. But it happened. Now, the embarrassing part is where you stall your bike. For me, it happened in a parking lot where I was just coming out of the store. I was a little bit hungry on my way home. And I got my gear on. I checked everything, and I put my key in, and I start the ignition. And all of a sudden, there were like 3 or 4 beautiful women that were just walking. And of course, me being me, I just was distracted. Yeah, I was distracted. Now, normally, when I'm ready to go and make sure everything's good, I kick my kickstand up to go. Because of my distraction, my kickstand was still down. And then I was like, okay, oh shoot, they're looking at me. All right, let me just leave because at this point, I don't want to look like I'm like drooling like So I was ready to go. Because your kickstand is down, every rider knows this. It practically stops your bike. In a way, it's kind of like stalling, but it just stops your bike. I stopped, and I'm like, did I stall? So I started up and again, and at this point, it happened again. And I'm like, what the hell? And at this point, like I said, they were watching me at this moment, and I'm like, oh shit. So I tried it one more time, and I'm like, I know I got everything down, I got my groove. And I did. I just didn't kick up my kickstand because finally I looked down, saw it was down. I was like, oh, that's great. At this point, they were like laughing and everything. I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, prepare for that. People will notice. Another embarrassing thing can involve around being around friends. Like, if you like to ride in group, me, I tend to ride more solo than in group, but I'm not shy to riding with others. Hooligan or stupid stuff tends to happen. Pranks tend to happen. I'm not going to give that much away, but that could be like an embarrassing moment. There are some other moments where I've seen and I felt bad for this one kid. It was at a gas station. I was putting in gas. He pulled up and he whipped out his phone. He was still sitting on his motorcycle and he was just like, I guess he was texting somebody or taking pictures or whatever. I'm not sure. He sees me, I see him, and we did our motorcycle recognition nod, like, hey, what's up, hi, whatever. And he just got off his bike. He just got off, and his bike just went boom. He never put the kickstand down. I didn't realize because where I was facing and looking, I wouldn't looking on that side to see if he put his kickstand down. If I noticed it, I would have said something. But the way we were, I didn't notice. He was just on it, and I just assumed because he was getting off the right, correct side of the bike. And then all of a sudden, boom, and he was like, oh, shit. And then he looked at me, and I can tell he was kind of like, and I'm like, I got off my bike. I was ready to leave, got off my bike, helped him pull it up. And, we talked a little bit, I was like, dude, you got to make sure you keep your kickstand down, checked everything. And he was freaking out. But at the same time, he's embarrassed because that, when you drop your bike and make noise, a lot of people was like watching him. And I know he felt, yeah. But again, there's so many more I can list, but I don't want to give too much away. Everybody, give your embarrassing moment. Even if you just drive a car, if there's something you've witnessed a motorcyclist did that you felt bad for him because it was embarrassing, share it. All right, then. All things, make sure you have fun. And if you're going to be a hooligan, do it right. You don't have to be wrong, but have fun doing it right. All right, then. Later.